Welcome to a quick intro video for some new functionality we're really excited to announce here at Ripehouse. My name's Jacob Field and we've been working on flood overlays for the last 4 or so weeks, probably a little longer. It's much anticipated. We are very happy to release the functionality. This is a sneak peek video into how to use the flood map overlays, how to filter properties in and out of them, and also perhaps more importantly, how to see how price changes based on properties filtered in and out of those areas. So this is phase 1 rollout. We haven't released it publicly yet. We are releasing it to you, our members, first with this introductory video. This is only a very informal video. I will be recording a full how-to package and associated blog post with the functionality once it's released. I did think I would release it now to all you guys as a preview, and this video is just to show you how to use it very quickly. There will be a lot more information released in the next week or so. So I'm sitting here on the My Suburbs page. This is our launching pad. Currently, this is phase 1, so we have gone to the most at-risk market, I suppose, for flood-related damage is the Brisbane area, Brisbane River, with storm and rain flooding, etc. So we're focused on mapping the flood areas for that Brisbane local government area. Next off the bat, phase 2, once we've got the functionality all bedded down, everyone's comfortable with using it, we're rolling out Ipswich, Sunshine Coast, Redlands local government areas as phase 2, and phase 3 is then rolling out into Moreton Bay, Gold Coast as the next cabs off the rank, and then after that we're going to be going out into all the regional areas and adding those throughout Queensland where appropriate. So this is phase 1. The phase 2 is coming within the next few days as well, so not too far away. We just are bedding in the functionality, making sure it is going okay. Indooroopilly is an inner city Brisbane suburb on the Brisbane River. It's a great one to demonstrate the functionality. So it's just loading up there for us. Now, I will draw your attention over to the right-hand side of the screen here. We can zoom in and out just normally. We've got our usual functionality, the capital growth overlays, the flipping overlays, cash flow, and this is the new flooding overlay down here on the bottom right. The top right, but at the bottom of the little control panel over here. Once we move the map area, so you can click anywhere on the map and move that around, and you can zoom in and out. At the current level of zoom and the current positioning of the map, once you're happy with that positioning of the map, you can click on the flood overlay. That will go away and find all flood areas for the visible area. So outside of this visible area, it won't actually load the flood maps, but just for the visible area there. So make sure you are comfortable with that visible area. If you do move the map slightly, it will then turn the toggle back off again because it needs to be reloaded. So once you are happy with that, don't adjust the zooms or the positioning of the page. Load that flood area up. You can see now the green shaded flood zones on the map. This is for the Brisbane Local Council area only, as I mentioned. This relates to low-risk flooding areas. So this is a 1 in 1,000 event. Different local government areas have slightly different rules, but we are working to the very, well, it did happen, and it seems to be happening with a higher rate of frequency, these low flood risk events. So this is what we've mapped into the page here. And you can visibly see. I might just zoom in a little bit closer and then I'll turn the flood map on again. You can see how it overlaps the suburb boundaries. You can see how it definitely comes in from the side of the river and it flows in through this area here in particular through Indooroopilly. Now, we've got 63 properties on the map here, red icons. If we jump in here and click on filter properties, you can see 2 new options here. So let's only show properties that are safe from flood zones, or only show properties that are actually in the flood zone. So you might want to target them because they might be cheaper properties, etc. So that option's there just in case you need it. But generally, I'm assuming you'll be using safe from flood zones. Turn that filter on. Then we go apply filter at the bottom here. And that's now only going to display to us properties that are sitting on the map, 48 properties that are outside of the flood zone, the low risk flood zone area. So you can turn the flood zone back on again and you can see that there's actually no icons within those areas. You can move on to another suburb as normal. So I'm loading up St. Lucia next door, and we can go through the same process there if needed. Obviously, some suburbs are not going to have any flood affected areas. Some suburbs are going to have a lot. Yeah, we will be releasing some data around how properties positioned in and out of flood zones does affect pricing. So that is coming. Once you actually do the filtering, you can actually see here the suburb median is 559 with all properties in the sample. Once you only display the properties that are outside of flood zones or safe from flood zones, the suburb median goes down to 442 for those properties. So this is actually something that I've noticed a little bit. A lot of the properties in the flood zones are actually probably the more prestige properties on the waterfront, etc. Nicer aspects, a higher price point. So even when we filter those out, sometimes the remaining sample size of 32 properties here, the median price for those does dip because they are an inferior property type. So a little bit, it will be averaged out across all suburbs across Brisbane, and I will be providing that data, but it is throwing us off the scent a little bit here. So yeah, I hope you'll find that beneficial. Jump in, have a go. The functionality is ready to go in your account. Just make sure that you clear your browser cache to ensure that you have the latest version of the files ready to go, and you are able to see that functionality for you. So yes, clear the cache, browser cache, jump onto My Suburbs, load up any suburb within Brisbane local government area, and you'll be able to see the flood overlays on the map. And then, as I've demonstrated, filter properties in and out of those areas. So thank you.